Okay, good morning, Ramlinga and his team. Today, one more interesting topic of chemical bonding we are going to discuss. Hmm? It is like a tug of war. So, tug of war is one of the most interesting, fascinating, Josh activity of our annual athletic meet. So, here also we go for today tug of war. So, this tug of war is between the two atoms. Okay, I hold more tightly electrons or you hold more tightly electrons. So there we have seen the two groups were fighting for the winning. So they're pulling. So it depends upon how muscle power, how stamina, strength matters. Okay. So in the same way, in the today's discussion, in the today's discussion, how the two atoms will hold electrons tightly, that depends upon again the strength of that particular atom. So I can compare today's topic with tug of war so that easily we can correlate electronic movements with our day-to-day happenings. Okay, right. So let us start today's session. Hmm? So topic is what? Topic is polarity of bonds. Polarity means poles of a bond. What type of poles? Positive pole and the negative pole of a chemical bond. So and that is called as what? Polarity of bonds. Okay. And for this, Vikram, 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 Vikram,
Yes, sir.
some disturbances. Kindly mute your mic.
Due to it's not muting.
Okay, okay. Right. At least keep away from the group.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So for the today's topic, I am using caption beingness of electrons. Beingness means what? I am with this. So, because our friend Ramlinga is a very sober boy, very clever boy, correct boy, disciplined boy, so I want to be with him. So, he's a good student leader. So, why people prefer to be with Ramlinga? It is because he has got some qualities. So, be with some particular person or with a particular system. This system is best for me. So, I go with this system like that. So here beingness of electrons means so electrons are will be with some atom, one particular atom. Why? Maybe it is having pulling ability, its ability, or it may electrons may be liking. So there are many factors why electrons are liking a particular atom. So that's why I'm using the word beingness of electrons. And the same tug of war, I have taken a diagram that is a cartoon just to understand polarity of bonds. Who holds electrons more tightly? Hmm? And in the picture, in the cartoon, you can see chlorine is holding both electrons towards itself because chlorine is more electronegative compared to hydrogen. So therefore, you can see both the shared pair of electrons, okay, are with what chlorine. So chlorine now here electrons are liking what chlorine. So beingness of electrons towards chlorine is expected here. Again, that depends upon what electronegativity of chlorine compared to hydrogen. Okay, right. See, so this is one more diagram. This is one more diagram where we are understanding when there is a difference in the electronegativity, two poles are created. Okay, if anion approaches, then positive pole will orient towards the anion because of the opposite charges in the physics. Like charges repel and opposite charges attract each other. So because anion is approaching, so the positive pole of the polar molecule will align towards negative ion. If cation approaches, the negative pole will align. So it depends upon the who is approaching. So accordingly, the polar molecule will change. It alignment. Okay. So accordingly, it will align towards the opposite charge unit. So then they go for the bonding. All those will happen. So this shows what this shows. I want to align to a particular person. So where aligning is allowed. Okay. Right. Now, bond polarity and electronegativity. There is a relation between bond polarity and electronegativity. What is the relation? The relation is when there is a difference in the electronegativity, electrons lies with the atom which is more electronegative, thereby creating the positive pole and the negative pole, and that is called as the bond polarity. Okay, so that means there is a close relation between bond polarity and electronegativity. If electronegative topic is not there, bond polarity is not there. So that's why we must we must say thanks to the Linus Pauling, who has done a lot of research work on the electronegativity. Right. So the electron pairs shared between two atoms are not necessarily shared equally. Extreme example. Take the example of chlorine. In chlorine, both are same atoms. In chlorine molecule, both are Cl, 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 Cl2. So therefore, electrons lies exactly at the center because both are same ability of withdrawing. So electron will lie exactly at the center, shared equally. But in the case of NaCl, the 3s electron is stripped from the Na. That means the one electron which is there in the 3s, 3s1, that is removed. Stripped means removed from sodium atom and is incorporated. That means it is added, it is given, okay, into the electronic structure of the Cl atom, and the compound is most accurately described as consisting of individual Na plus and the Cl minus ions. That means what? In the case of chlorine, electrons lies exactly at the center or electrons share equally. Here in the case of sodium chloride, no sharing. One gives, one takes. Because one gives becomes cation, one takes becomes anion. So NaCl is taken as it is the combination of the cation and the anion. Okay, that we want to understand here. Now, for most covalent substances, their bond character falls between these two extremes. So these two are taken as a standard examples from for the day-to-day examples, because these two we come across frequently. Often we take these examples. Therefore, other examples are there. But by taking the chlorine and by taking the sodium chloride to extreme cases, two ends, okay. So all other atoms lie in between chlorine and the NaCl. Their electronegativity differs that you have to calculate, and exactly where they share. So with what atom electrons are there, all those we can decide between these two examples. Okay, these two are taken as the two standard examples to decide whether it is more covalent or more ionic, less covalent or less ionic, all those. Okay, right. So bond polarity is a useful concept for describing the sharing of electrons between atoms. I told you exactly where electrons are shared. That can be understood, that can be explained by the knowledge of what? Bond polarity. A non-polar covalent bond is one in which the electrons are shared equally. Just now I told by taking the example of chlorine. A polar covalent bond is one in which one atom has a greater attraction for the electrons than the other atom. If this relative attraction is great enough, then the bond is an ionic bond. That means what? So, in some cases, in the polar covalent bond, if one has the ability to give only, one has the ability to take only, that time the nature of bond is what? It is more of a ionic. Same case with what? What we discussed the sodium chloride. Now, about the bond polarity, we understood. What is electronegativity? Already we understood in the modern periodic table. But once again, let us take, because it is very useful concept for the today's discussion. So, I am adding once again the same topic, electronegativity and its meaning. A quantity termed electronegativity is used to determine whether a given bond will be non-polar covalent or polar covalent or ionic. Hmm. So, by making use of the term electronegativity, we can tell whether the bond is non-polar or polar covalent or if it is ionic. Okay. So, electronegativity is defined as the ability of an atom in a particular molecule to attract electrons to itself. So, in a particular molecule, the shared pair of electrons are attracted by the one that one has got more electronegativity, and that is known as what? Electronegativity, or the ability of that atom. Okay. So what is the conclusion? The greater the value of electronegativity, the greater the attractiveness for electrons. Very good. So fluorine has the highest electronegativity. On Pauling scale it is 4. Therefore, it withdraws electrons like anything. Electronegativity is a function of the atom's IE and the atom's electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. That means how strongly electrons are given, how easily electrons are given, how strongly electrons are attracted towards the nucleus. Can we take out electron easily or with great difficulty? This is one factor. Other factor is what? Whether a particular atom is able easily accepts or not. So accepting nature and donating nature both will decide what? Electronegativity. So electronegativity depends on, it is a function of what? Two factors. Its ionization energy or electron affinity or the electron gain enthalpy. So electron gain enthalpy and electron affinity both are same. So frequently they are used together for the same concept. Okay, right. So for example, let's take an example. For example, a large negative electron affinity. If the particular atom is there, its electron gain enthalpy is large negative. What do you mean by large negative value of electron gain enthalpy? Easy to accept the electron. Okay. And a high IE means what? Difficult to give the electron. Okay. First is what? Larger the negative value of electron gain enthalpy, higher the value of ionization enthalpy means what? It is not ready to give so easily. It want to take easily. So taking is favored than giving or the donation. Okay. So that atom will attract electrons from other atoms. Okay. Resist having its own electrons attract away. That means its own electrons are, it hold tightly, so it will resist giving. Afterwards it will give. That is not, that is a separate issue. Okay. But at least it will give some resistance. Okay, with that those values. So higher the value of ionization enthalpy and the larger negative value of electron gain enthalpy. So this will resist what? By resistance by the particular atom for its own electron. I will not give so easily my electrons. That is that mentality, or that is the tendency. Such an atom will be highly electronegative. So under these two conditions, that atom is said to be what? That atom is said to be highly electronegative, and fluorine is the most electronegative element. Okay, whose electronegativity is taken as a 4 on the Pauling scale, and the least electronegative is taken as what? Cesium, extreme left bottom. Okay, so notice that these two are at the diagonal of the modern periodic table. So one is left bottom, the other one is right top. See here. So all these are electronegativity we have calculated. Okay, long back table is available. Okay, in the form of a column or in the form of a modern periodic table. So every block is given electronegativity value. Okay. So fluorine is not 4 comma, it is a 4.0, 3.5, 1.9, 1.9, 0.8. So it is not a comma actually, it is a point. Okay. So they are the electronegative values of a all the atoms calculated, and arrow mark is showing that. So electronegativity is low, it is medium, and it is high. As we move from left to right, electronegativity is increasing. Okay, so that means left side we have the less electronegative, and the right side we have the more electronegative, and in between moderate electronegative. So this is a what? A survey we have made on the modern periodic table with respect to electronegativity. Right. So what is general trend? General trend is electronegativity increases from left to right. Okay. For the representative elements, what are representative elements? S block and the P block are together are called what? Representative elements, because they represent our life. Most of the elements are very useful in our day-to-day life. Therefore, they are called as representative elements, S and P block. So, for the representative elements, electronegativity decreases as you go down a group. So, okay, top one is electronegative more, bottom one electronegative less, or they become more electropositive. What? As you move from top to bottom, giving electron is easy. the transition metal group is not as predictable as far as electronegativity is concerned. So S block, okay, aram se we can predict. P block also we can predict, but the D block and the F block are there, no? So these two blocks are where D entry is there, F entry is there, their shapes, their lobes, screening effect, inert pair effect. So there are many effects will come in between when the D and F entry is there. So because of those D and F entry, there are some small minor problems are there, and because of those minor problems, so we can't predict that this atom will be like this only. So we can predict and afterwards we will confirm by the experiment. But at least in the case of sodium, extreme left, it is highly electropositive, arams we can say. Okay. In the case of fluorine, best electronegative, but in between is there, no? So thereby some contraction in the size, so some other problems are there. So therefore, there depend upon what happens that time. Okay, when the D entry, F entry is there, so that time only we will calculate and tell. Okay, so it is only on the experimental basis in between. Whereas yeah, left and right, aram so you can tell. This is the most, this is least like that. Okay, so electronegativity of the middle one, D and F. So you have to calculate and then only we can tell. Okay, right. Now see, so electronegativity and the bond polarity relation is explained in the form of a table. Okay, see here. So I have taken example of three examples. One is fluorine molecule F2, HF molecule hydrogen fluoride, and LiF lithium fluoride. So three chemicals I have taken. Okay, and I have taken the electronegativity difference. Fluorine is 4, 4 minus 4 it is 0. H is fluorine is 4, H is 2.1, difference is 1.9. Whereas in the case of lithium fluoride, fluorine is 4 highest and least is lithium, that is 1.0, difference is 3. What is the conclusion here? Conclusion is, if it is 0, it is non-polar covalent, no poles are created. So now it is 1.9, it is polar covalent. 3.0, that means when the electronegativity difference is more, you will have more of ionic in nature. Okay, less of covalent, more of ionic. Whereas when the electronegativity difference is moderate, the time we can say it is a polar covalent. Poles are created. Whereas if the electronegativity is very less or zero, the time it is almost covalent, or that which covalent, non-polar, where poles are not created. Okay, right. So this is what we can conclude by the values of what electronegativity and the bond polarity. Yeah. The sharing of electrons in HF is unequal. Okay, this I already told. Yeah. So the HF bond can thus be represented as, in this way we can represent. Okay. This symbol is what? It is used to show the movement of electron. Electrons are withdrawn by the fluorine. So arrow mark indicates that electronic cloud is moving towards that direction. Okay, right. So here D plus and the D minus, this is what delta actually. So delta plus delta minus was, they are the partial charges. H is losing, F is accepting, gaining. That is the meaning. So because it is gaining, partial negative. Because it is losing, partial positive. So partial poles are created. Partial charges are created. So the arrow indicates the pull. So in a particular direction. Okay. Which direction? The direction where it is more electronegative. Okay. Right. So in lithium fluoride, the much greater relative electronegativity of the fluorine atom completely strips the electron from the lithium, and the result is an ionic bond. Okay, because difference in the electronegativity is more, so when the difference is more, the time one gives, one takes, ionic bond is forms. Okay, right. Now this is the general thumb rule. So, general rule of thumb for predicting the type of bond based upon electronegativity difference. What is the rule? Rule number 1. If the electronegativities are equal, the bond is non-polar covalent. That is the case of what? That is the case of fluorine. Okay, right. If the difference in electronegativities between the two atoms is greater than 0 but less than 2, so between 0 to 2, then the bond is polar covalent. That is the case of what? That is the case of uh, this one, middle one, HF. It is between 0 to 2. So it is polar covalent. Okay, right. And if the difference in electronegativities between the two atoms is 2 or greater than 2, if that is there, then the bond is more of ionic in nature. The ionic bond, ionic nature dominates. Okay, so that is the case of what lithium fluoride we have taken already in the table form. Okay, right. The property of shared pair of electrons being closer to one atom than the other in a covalent bond is called bond polarity. So, because electrons are being with one particular atom, so poles are created. That is known as what? Bond polarity. So, now I understood why I use the word caption beingness of electron, because electrons are being with some atom. So, because of that, poles are created, and that is called as what? Bond polarity. So, the apt caption I made use for the bond polarity. As a result of polarization, what is polarization? The effect of the plus charge on the minus charge, that is called polarization. Okay, it will give some disturbance, maybe attraction or repulsion. So the charges are there, no? So they will be having some kind of interactions, repulsive, attractive. So all those interactions are called what? Polarization. For example, for the better understanding, I can give an example what polarization. Okay, so what polarization? During the election campaign, okay, so political election campaign, so they will go for survey. So survey report says that this particular area, this district, Bijapur, is inclined towards a particular party. Okay, so this party may get more votes, that may come in the majority, and that was a survey they give. But when on a fine day, one charismatic leader, one good leader will come and give such a speech. So because of his speech, in one day, in one night, all are motivated. They will change their thoughts. So their thoughts are polarized by the that political leader. So earlier they were inclined towards one particular party. Now, because of that leader, because of his thought, because of his speech, okay. So because of his appeal to the crowd, pulling nature of the leader, so in one night he can change the scenario. So the thoughts are totally polarized by a leader, and next day result is different. That is called what? Polarization. So there thoughts polarization, here charge polarization. Okay, right. So as a result of polarization, the molecule possesses the dipole moment. Okay, what is dipole moment? So movement of the two poles. Electrons are moving, no? So due to that, the poles are created due to the electronic movement. Two poles are created. So dipole movement of electron. So it is because of the movement of electron, two poles, dipoles are created, and this phenomenon is called as the dipole moment. Hmm? Which can be defined as the product of the magnitude of the charge and the distance between the centers of positive and the negative charge. Okay, so the dipole moment depends on what? Two factors. One is what? Magnitude of the charge. How much, with what ability it pulls. Okay, that is important. And distance also matters. Chlorine pulls, agreed. If chlorine is very close in the vicinity of the hydrogen area, then it pulls. Chlorine is somewhere, hydrogen is somewhere, will it pull? No. So there is some distance is required, no, some distance. So some allowed distance is required. So when they come to that allowed distance, then only they start feeling attractiveness or a polarization or if something they feel interaction when they are in the some distance. Okay, that distance is very important. Okay, that's why I want to say not only the magnitude of the charge, not only charge, distance between the centers of the positive and negative charge. Okay, so then only they will attract. Simply keeping 1 kilometer away, they will not attract. So distance also matters. That's why he said it is the product of charge and distance of separation. More dipole moment we learn in the higher class in the degree or the MSc, where on the dipole moment only separate topic is there. Now timing will go for only the numerical value or the formula of the dipole moment. So therefore dipole moment mu. So mu is also used for the refractive index in the physics also. So let us not confuse here. For the dipole moment, I am using the mu. So mu equal to charge into distance of separation. And this is the research work of what? Debye scientist. Okay. So that's why. So his name is kept for the unit for the dipole moment. Therefore, dipole moment is expressed in the Debye units. D. Okay. How Coulomb name is kept, no, for the charge because of his research work. In the same way, for the Peter Debye, so his name is kept for the dipole moment because it is his work. Okay, so different people have worked in different fields of science, and ultimately today we are enjoying everything. So the conversion factor between dBi and the Coulomb charge is what? So 1 dBi equal to 3.33564 into 10 to the power minus 30 Coulomb meter. Okay, this is what converting factor. So whenever numerical comes, so we can convert dBi to Coulomb meter to dBi. All those we will do when numerical starts. Okay, right. So further, dipole moment is a vector quantity having both magnitude and the direction. Definitely, it is having magnitude and it will show direction of electrons are going towards this direction only. So, because it is having both the quantities, that's why we can say using the physics knowledge, it is a vector quantity. So, in the physics, there are two quantities. One is vector, one is a scalar. Okay. So, please recall from 6th to 10th class. So, but here dipole moment is a vector quantity because of the both characters. Okay, right. But in chemistry, presence of dipole moment is represented by the cross arrow put on the Lewis structure of the molecule. This is the this one line cross will put and arrow mark indicating that flow of electron towards a particular atom which is more electronegative. Okay, that is the way we show. So all these explanation about the arrow mark he has given already explained. Okay, right. Okay, now we will take one example of water. Okay, how they have come to the conclusion that dipole moment is this much only. So for this, you should know the structure of a water. Water is a bent structure. Okay, so HO bent structure. Now here O is more electronegative, therefore pulling is towards what? O. So that's why I have shown the arrow mark towards the O, right? So there are two bonds, both bonds are moving towards the oxygen only because oxygen is more electronegative. Hmm? So partial negative charge on the O and the partial positive charge on the H. Now please here, both are moving towards O only. Both are moving towards the O only. Okay. So on O, we have more electron density. So that means magnitude of charge is more. So that they are measured in the instrument. There are some instruments, okay. So to measure the dipole moment, so that is not there for our syllabus. So what is the value here? The value is 6.17 into 10 to the power minus 30 coulombs meter, or in terms of dBi, it is 1.85 dBi. That is the calculation. Why it is much more value? It is because pulling both sides, it is pulling, so more charge is there on the O, and accordingly some amount of plus charge from the hydrogen also, from H also, and distance also they calculate all those picometers, then they come to the conclusion this one. Okay, so this is the dipole moment of water measured. This is explained only on the structure part. You should know structure part only. So this much only is expected in chemistry in the examination. Now see, sometimes you'll ask why in the case of beryllium fluoride dipole moment is not there, it is zero. Again, we'll go to the structure part. Please see structure part, left bottom, it is BF2. So it is linear structure. Structure what? Linear, 180 degrees. So what happens here? You see the pulling. This fluorine pulls this side, this fluorine pulls this side, and both are same fluorine, same atom. In the tug of war, both team have got equal power. So both are equal, both are pulling with equal energy, stamina, power. That time that ribbon what we tie will be at the center only. It will not move towards either one group or second group. Both are having equal power, no? So for minutes together, for hours together, it will be there only. Unless we lose our stamina, it will be there only. Why? Both have same power of pulling. Here also both are pulling same energy. That's why electrons will not go here or here. So when the electrons are not moving, what we expect? No poles are created. Neither beryllium is losing nor fluorine is taking. Okay, so here fluorine is not at all losing at all. So it want to pull this side, this one pull this side of the electrons of the beryllium. Therefore, here poles are not created, so no dipole moment. Now take the example of BF3. Okay, so boron trifluoride. So here also it is exactly triangular planar. Structure is what? Triangular planar. And around the bromine, there are 3 fluorine atoms. All fluorine atoms are same fluorine, same power. So from the 3 directions, when the pulling is equal, again what we have? the dipole moment is what? 0. Okay, this is exactly 120 degree. So divide 360 by 3, so we get 120 degrees. So because of the equal pull by the same atoms around the boron, so boron trifluoride, that is B of 3, its dipole moment is 0. So it again depends upon what? Pulling or the beingness of electron, again depends upon what? Electronegativity. So sometimes for 1 mark or for 2 marks he will ask why the dipole moment is 0 in the case of beryllium fluoride and the beryllium trifluoride. Okay, right. That is explained only on the structure part. Okay. Now let us take the example of what? Ammonia and the NF3. NH3 and NF3, very interesting case. Okay. So first we discuss about the structure part. Both the molecules have pyramidal shape. Agreed? Both have lone pair of electron on the nitrogen. Agreed? So this is what similarity between the NH3 and NF3. So both ammonia and NF3, they have pyramidal shape. Same shape. Same shape. Both have one lone pair of electron on the nitrogen. Okay. But in the NF3, F is there, no? It is more electronegative. So what you want to see here, although fluorine is more electronegative, when there is a more electronegative atom is there in a particular molecule, what we expect? We expect more dipole moment. That is normally we expect, we predict. What is happening here practically, you see the data. Although fluorine is more electronegative than nitrogen, the resultant dipole moment of ammonia is more than that of NF3. We predicted that NF3 will be more dipole moment than the NH3. But what is happening here? It is NH3 is becoming more than the NF3. Why? This is explained once again on the what? On the structure part. So first we have to draw the structure of NF3 and NH3. Then what is happening on the nitrogen you will see. Okay. So now I am showing what? Structure of both NF3 and NH3. See here. This is ammonia and this is nitrogen trifluoride. Okay. Right. See the pulling. Nitrogen is more electronegative. Okay. So pull is towards nitrogen. Pull is towards the nitrogen. Okay. Now here one more is there. Lone pair of electron. It is free. This also wants to pull. I am free. So I will pull. I will also add up my power to the pulling. That means what? Electrons are moving towards nitrogen. That is supported, facilitated by the lone pair of electron on the nitrogen. That's why it is having more dipole moment. Now you see the case of NF3. NF3 pulling is towards the opposite direction. This lone pair of electron will want to pull upward because it is free, like here. So it is having both are having lone pair. No, I told both are similarity. So both are having lone pair of electron. Both pulls in the upward direction. But the problem is in the case of ammonia, the upward pull is supported by the 3 hydrogen, whereas the upward pull is not supported by the fluorine in the case of NF3. So because here support is not there, there we have less dipole moment compared to the ammonia. So this is explained on the what ground? On the structure ground. That's why you see the dipole moment of ammonia is 4.90 into 10 to the power minus 30 coulombs meter, whereas the dipole moment of NF3 is 0.8. So the one pull here, one pull here, this pull is more. That means some pull is cancelled here. But this lone pair of pull is supported here. I will also pull, you will support. That time you can easily pull, no? Aram se. So poles are created. So dipole moment is there. So this is the most important example frequently asked in the examination. Okay. So please draw structure, show the pulling, then these two values you have to practice, then give the your logical explanation so that you will get 1 or 2 marks. Yeah. Now, this is the conclusion. This is the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is just as all the covalent bonds have some partial ionic character, the ionic bonds also have partial covalent character. So the partial covalent character of ionic bond was discussed by Fazens in terms of the rules known as what? Fazens rule. Already we discussed in our previous interactions. Okay, so that means what? Because of electronegativity concept, because of the bond polarity, we can say that, let us not say that this particular molecule is 100% are exactly covalent, exactly ionic. So ionic bond is there, but it will have some amount of covalent character. That covalent character again depends upon what? Difference in the electronegativity. In the same way, let us not say that this is totally covalent. No. In the covalent, some ionic bond is there, and how much is there? Again, that depends upon what? Difference in the electronegativity. Okay. A covalent bond will start experiencing the ionic character, and an ionic bond start experiencing the covalent character. Both are related. So that is explained by what? Poisson's rule. Already we understood. Okay. So I will not go to the Poisson's rule because already we explained. So in my next interaction, in our next session, we will discuss one more small topic which is more interesting. That is VSEPR theory, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. So let me see the first syllabus part, term and syllabus part. If VSEPR theory is there, I will go to VSEPR theory. If VSEPR theory is deleted, then I will go to directly valence bond theory, that is VBT. So till then, whatever we discussed today, kindly go through textbook and make it perfect. Till then, have a nice time and keep studying. Be ready for the term examination in the month of November, second or the third week. So thank you, my dear students.